It's a warm spring morning. I snuggle in the passenger seat of our old Subaru Forester, wrapped in a down quilt. I'm sipping a cinnamon-laced latte and breathing in the velvet tones of Mr. James Taylor. The album ends. I press eject and retrieve a silver CD. Holding up the disc like a priest holds up a communion host, lightning strikes. It's a moment of utter clarity. Why am I sitting in an old Subaru listening to Mr. James Taylor? Why? Because this Subaru is the only radio and CD player left in my life. Like many formerly contented music lovers, I've been hoodwinked and handcuffed by modern technology. Therefore, if I yearn to listen to a favorite album, I'm sentenced to do so in my driveway. The CD in my hand is one of 60 that I own, discs surviving a long line of tragic musical mistakes I lay at the door of technology. Where exactly did I go wrong? My guts know where. I lay my head against the passenger's window and I confess my role in the tragic demise of my precious record player. My record player, God, how I loved that turntable and adored how she played my treasured albums with her diamond point needle. Night and day, my loyal companion spinning albums at my side while I focused on homework, tackled graduate studies, cleaned my apartments, kissed my boyfriends, and lived my life. The three of us, my record player, the albums, and myself. We lived up in a private bubble. Drawn to an album, I'd saunter across the room, pluck it from the shelf, embrace it, slip off its tight-fitting jacket, blow softly on its exposed vinyl, and lay it down for play, intimate. I engaged in this process, memorizing every album I owned, absorbing each song as the music flowed from one tune to the next as if it were one long melody. I never just learned a single song, I learned an entire album, thanks to my precious record player. She fed my brain with tunes that replayed even when I wasn't at her side, melodies that rolled around in my head as I rode the bus, attended class lectures, and worked the checkout line at the local Jewel. Her music always humming in my head. I was passionately in love with that music, and when I lost it, I lost the soundtrack to my life. As Joni Mitchell warned, don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you got till it's gone? And I paid paradise all right, and I drank the Kool-Aid. What Kool-Aid? The hypnotic cocktail served up by the testosterone-drenched techies in my life. A husband and two sons, guys who duped me into hopping on the gerbil wheel of technological musical advances. I might sound like I'm blaming the guys, but psychology offers data. Did you know that 84% of imprisoned women are in jail because they followed the advice of some man they loved? Just saying, the road to the dark side is a slow boil, and the chef with the flame, nearly always some tech guy with a great idea. Fine. I accept some responsibility. I sold out. I listened to those guys. I went against my gut instincts. And while dubious, I did not resist. Yes, I wept from my core as I placed my priceless vinyl albums into a milk crate and hauled them over to Goodwill. I had trouble letting them go, nearly wrestling them back from the midst of that drive-through donation collector guy. But Goodwill won. The worst sin of all, the truly mortal sin, I handed over my precious record player, my turntable with the diamond point needle. Again, crying an ocean of tears, but I did it. What an utter betrayal. How come I didn't know that my record player was one of the loves of my life? I have the genome of a Canadian goose. I marry for life. How could I dump such a treasure? No wonder I had that repeated nightmare. It started the day I donated my music equipment. In this night terror, a techno-savvy nerd lurks in a moldy, cluttered basement and plays my albums on my turntable. The nerd sneers at me, one hand holding up a Carole King record while the other one fondles my precious record player. Albumless, turntable deprived, and emotionally rattled, I confess I cannot live without music. So what did I do? I listened to my tech guys hawk the latest great idea, and I rebought every one of my treasured albums in the state-of-the-art tape cassettes. Tape cassettes? Really? A total crap experience compared to the beauty of vinyl records. Spinning tunes on an ever-reliable tune table. Those tapes, they got stuck in tape players, especially in the car. Tape ribbons that kids pulled out and crushed and created mounds of ticker tape spaghetti. Spaghetti I'd spent hours, number 2 pencil in hand, rewinding into cassettes. Tapes that eventually melted or warped, forcing fine artists to sound like drunkards. So hating tapes, I re-embraced the idea of playing a radio, AM and FM. While it's no turntable, the radio I bought did include a cassette player if I got desperate enough to play one of those crappy tapes. During this period, though, I got way into NPR. To my credit, I ignored my techies' plans to get with MP3s and nab some Napster. They had to nab without me. I saw that one coming. Still in the driveway, I stare at the James Taylor disc in my hand. This cheap plastic wannabe is no substitute for a sturdy vinyl record. It's just a cheesy knockoff, and I know it. I admit it. Yes, I did join the CD craze, and slipping on yet another set of digital handcuffs, I said goodbye to tapes and hello to CD and CD players. And yes, as you've already guessed, I rebought all of my favorite albums in the CD format. This craze went on for a few years. With music back at my side, I hummed along until during a move, my CD player disappeared. That's when I was left with a Subaru in the driveway. In this moment of reckoning, I'm aware of 2 things. I need music at my side, and I'll be damned if I'm donating all 60 of these CD discs to Goodwill. I glimpse a path ahead. Rebuy a radio with a CD player, give it an honored place in my life, and get out of the driveway. I open the car door, wrap myself as royalty in a down quilt, and march into the house. I yell down the stairs to my husband, Pete, who's spackling cracks in the basement. Honey, today I'm buying a radio, one with a CD player. A techno caveman response floats up from the basement. Babe, you don't need a souped up radio, you got me. Right, I got you, babe. That's precisely why I need my own equipment. Just a few words about Pete. Pete is an engineer with a career in aerospace. I share only a few facts about Pete so that you can get a taste of this engineer's effect on my life. Tall, muscular, enormous brown eyes. Adorable, yes. But every molecule of this guy screams technology. The upside of Pete, you can count on any object he's launched into the sky going where it's supposed to go and returning when it's supposed to return, all safely. The downside of Pete? In our home, it takes a blood pressure spiking 27 steps to get to music. Steps that involve his computer, a TV, a receiver, 3 control panels, lists of secret passwords, HTML1, HTML2, VPN, and Windows 11. To bypass this drama and minimize my temper tantrums, Pete hooked me up with Spotify. But in order to listen to a few Ed Sheeran tunes, I have to endure multiple Geico trailers, usually 4 Tide Pod commercials, and always 8 to 10 Viagra ads. Spotify holds us music lovers hostage, hoping we'll surrender and buy that premium app? Ha! No way. When we built our home, Pete wired it with Cat 6, blue, white, and yellow strands of electrical spaghetti threaded through the guts of our home. Cat 6, we're the envy of every guy I know. 6-foot-tall media rack, and we're going all Connect 4. Rewiring all media into a central system. Babe, how about I wire up the lights and the drapes? I scream. No lights, no drapes. Maybe when I'm 95. Right now, babe, I can use the exercise. Walk to the light switch, snap it on, pull the drapes. Think of it as toning my upper arms. Besides, I get exercise credit on that Apple Watch you bought me for our anniversary. The one that spies on my every move. You mean the watch you keep forgetting to wear, babe? You've got to consider the lights and the drapes. It would be as easy as pressing a button. Sure it would, after I waste an hour hunting for the control panel. Pete's got us wired Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and Zigbee. This technology is not remotely understandable, even after I have asked for and received several in-depth lectures. Well, babe, he says, it's all electromagnetic energy. Each type of device operates on a different frequency. They've divided up the frequencies. Who are they, I ask, squinting suspiciously. And does this electromagnetic energy go around us or through us? They are engineers, he explains. And yes, the electromagnetic energy goes around us, and some of it goes through us. I flail my arms. And you think this is safe? He offers no response. Enough already about my technology, dude, and my overwired environment. What is important here is my quest for music. Music I can control with the touch of a finger. Music untinged by Viagra commercials. Music that lets me save those 60 CDs and get out of the driveway. The spackling in the basement ends, and I usher Pete into our electric car. The guy cannot resist a trip to Best Buy. We enter Best Buy and are immediately greeted by a rail-thin, handsome, 16-year-old giraffe of a guy with Jamal pinned on his bright blue shirt, right over his heart. Jamal eagerly engages Pete. I have to redirect Jamal to myself. Joy on my lips, I announce, Jamal, today I would like to buy a radio. Jamal, startled by my request, rolls his gigantic brown eyes. A radio? Jamal looks to the ceiling for inspirational retrieval, and there he appears to find an empty information cloud. A radio. You want to buy a radio. I don't think we probably don't. I explain. Jamal, it's usually a black box about this big. I illustrate the product with hand gestures. And it has a fold-down antenna, AM, FM stations, and it must have a CD player. You know, the lid would flip up and maybe you just slide the CD in. But here's the best part. Using only one finger, you press play. Jamal looks at me, frozen with concentration. I sense that he is visualizing our target item. Oh yeah, Jamal jumps into awareness, like in my mom's Toyota. Right, Jamal, a radio and CD player, just like in your mom's Toyota, but only not in the Toyota, in a small black box. Ah, He smiles softly, and then he frowns, concerned about delivering disappointing news. I don't know if we have any of those. I'm crestfallen. Jamal picks up on my despair, and eager to please, he pulls out his last thread of hope. Let me just double check with Isaac. Isaac's our man. If we have such a device, Isaac will know. Jamal presses the walkie-talkie that's clipped to his breast pocket and raises the earphones that have hung limply over his ears. A minute or two of static, buzz, shh, hum, and Isaac's on the line. Hey, buddy, what you need? Isaac, I have a customer here who wants a radio. A small black box antenna, AM/FM channels with a disc player. Buddy, let me check. I'll get back to you. Jamal smiles at me. I tell him that he has gorgeous hair because he does. Soft, silky, small corn curls like Rutini that spring gracefully from the top of his head. Thanks. He touches a lovely sprout. My mom cuts it and she styles it and uses special creams. Pete drifts off in search of something called mesh Wi-Fi, and I sense an opportunity for confession with this receptive spirit. Jamal, I whisper, confiding my deepest wish. Jamal, what I most want, actually really desire, is my old turntable and vinyl albums. That's my idea of music. Jamal says, his voice laced with admiration. That's a real music lover's niche, often the request of our high-end customers. Now, we do carry that kind of equipment in our Magnolia department. Unfortunately, we do not have Magnolia at this store, but I know what you want. Jamal, you do understand. I take a moment to bless his mother for creating such a divine young man. Jamal reaches into his breast pocket and retrieves his business card and hands it to me. If you want, I'll look into the whole turntable Magnolia option. Call me and we'll make a plan. I wave his card. Jamal, you bet I'll call. The walkie-talkie squawks to life, spitting and buzzing. It's Isaac. He's back. Jamal, you there? I'm here, buddy. Isaac directs us. Jamal, check B34-1, the bottom shelf, probably in the back. I follow Jamal to B34-1. Jamal kneels and searches the bottom shelf. Ha-ha! He squeals. I got something! He pulls out a box covered with dust and gingerly erases the powder with a sweep of his graceful fingers. There we go, he sings, bouncing his head as if he'd just delivered a baby. He stares at the box. Look at that, will ya? A Sony radio and CD player. Nice. Nice, I echo. Jamal places the treasure in my arms. Madame, your radio. Isaac sputters back to life on the other end of Jamal's earphones. Boombox, baby! That's what we call it, Jamal. Boombox. Yes, boombox, I cheer, remembering that Spike Lee movie. As Pete and I walk out of the Best Buy with me hugging my boombox, I wave at Jamal, his business card floating in my hands. He winks back and I mouth the word, Magnolia. Jamal nods, giving me a thumbs up. Of course, the tsunami never ends, and as we get into the car, Pete launches into his latest technology dream. Babe, I've been thinking. We gotta cut the cable cord, go all streaming. Cable, total waste of money, huge monthly bills. I'm ready for this one. Like me, our daughter Jennifer knows her father's tech addictions and has already clued me into the latest streaming trend. Plagiarizing Jennifer because I do not know what the heck I'm talking about, I respond. Right on, babe. We gotta go all Roku. Pete turns to me, eyes glazed with admiration. Roku, so you're on board, babe. I smile and hug my boombox. But I cannot resist squinting at that whole TV thing. Why? Because I remember. I used to have a TV. I did not have to pay any money to watch that TV. My TV had 3 channels, and sometimes 4 if I wiggled the antenna just right. But don't get me started, I'm not going there. With Jamal and Magnolia, I got a shot at getting back my record player.